Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today it is Face Fashion. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I went about the sewing of this beautiful skirt. In my last tutorial I shared with you guys the pattern drafting. So guys, I actually went ahead to make some few corrections after finding out that my flare did not really come out as I actually wanted it. So apologies guys if you have already cut that pattern, but I'll go ahead now to make the correction so you guys can see what I did. So if this is something you're interested in, do not forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell. So let's get started. So guys, if you've seen my last video, you would know that this was actually the pattern we drafted the last time. So what I did here was just to trace back the pattern to another new pattern paper. While I took off my flare, I actually added to the pattern. So just watch what I do guys and you understand what I'm trying to say. So just go ahead now to take off the pattern that we actually added to our brown paper. So that's what I'm currently doing now guys. So guys, just as you've seen me do, I took off the patterns that I extended it with the flare, which is the white paper. So I just went ahead to attach it back together and then trace it out on a new pattern paper. So right now the next thing we'll do is to just create the design we have at the front. So this is the second way I actually discovered that I can actually add that design at the front. So I just actually took the measurements of the one I did before and then place it on the white paper just as you have seen me done. So I'll go ahead to just trace it out. This is where my design will start from. So you can decide to take yours higher. For me, I'm not that tall, so that's why I just had to leave it there. But if you are very tall, you can decide to take it 2 inches higher than what I just did. So moving ahead guys, I'll go ahead to take 2 inches away from the dart area on the center front and 2.5 inches on the side. So just watch what I do. After doing that, I'll go ahead to just make a very round shape. So just watch what I do guys. So I just made a round shape around it to meet the point I actually marked. Don't forget you are coming in by 2 inches, and on the from the dart area to the side you are going in by you're coming out by 2.5 inches. So after doing that guys, I'll go ahead to mark half of an inch just round the circle that I've made, which is going to serve as a seam allowance. So after doing that guys, I'll just go ahead to cut. So I'll go ahead now to do my slash and spread method. I went ahead to just make tiny lines and then go ahead to just cut. So just watch what I do and you will understand what I'm trying to say. So just like we did for the front piece, I'll go ahead to repeat the same thing. Remember, this is our pattern that we actually drafted on my last video. So I'm just going ahead to do the same thing I did for the front, like I said, and I went ahead to attach them back. So guys, I've also gone ahead to trace it back on a new pattern paper, just as you've seen me done here. So just like we did for the front piece, I'm just trying to repeat the same process here. So from this part I went in by 2 inches, and on the other part I went in by 2.5 inch, and after doing that I'll go ahead to just trace it out for you guys to see how I came about that design at the back as well. So for the zip area, what we'll do is to make sure your pattern paper is actually have enough space from the zip allowance. So what I did was just to measure 2.5 inches and then connected it to meet that same point there, just as you've seen me done. So just make 2.5 inches and connect it to meet the part where the design will start from. So after doing that, I'll go ahead also to mark half an inch round it for my seam allowance, and I'll go ahead to cut. Also for the back, just like we did for the front, I'll go ahead to do my slash and spread method just as you have seen me do here. It's just the same thing we did at the front, guys. So just watch what I'm doing and you will understand what I'm trying to say. I'll go ahead now to place my pattern on my fabric and just go ahead to cut them out. So guys, I hope you guys are not confused. The reason I added 2 inches to this part is because I actually added 2 inches as well to my skirt pattern. That's why I actually added 2 inches here. So I'll go ahead now to take off my pins and show you guys how I went about the sewing. So I've gone ahead to mark the wrong side and this is the right side, guys. So what I'll do next now is to bring my flare and then sew it to my skirt. So just watch what I do here, guys. I just actually had to fold this flare and then I went ahead to notch the middle area so that I can know where to start from. So after doing that, guys, I'll go ahead now to show you how I actually went about the sewing. So what I did, I took one part of the flare and then placed it on this particular point just as you have seen me done here. I place it here and I'll go ahead to just take my pin and pin it down so that it will not move when I'm trying to sew. So after doing that, guys, this is what I have, and I'll go ahead now to just take it like this just as you have seen me done, and I'll go ahead to run a stitch on it, and I'll take the other side as well and go ahead to run a stitch, just half an inch stitch, guys, on it, and this is what it will look like. I'll go ahead now to show you again what I did. So just place it on top like this from that middle point and then just take your pin and pin it down. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead now to run a stitch like this just as you have seen me done. Just run a stitch on top, half an inch stitch, guys. So I'll do that now. I'll come back to show you guys what it looks like. So this is how it actually came out. This is the back area. I'm just go ahead to notch. Don't forget to notch so that it will come out properly, and after notching, go ahead to just iron so that it can look neat. So actually I was not having lights here, so that's why I just went ahead to sew. So this is what it looks like, guys. So I'll go ahead now to do the same thing for the back pattern. I'm just going ahead to take off my pins and then note the zip allowance. So I'll go ahead to just take off the pattern paper from the flare, and I'll go ahead to just do the same thing like I showed you for the front piece. So guys, this is what we have, looking all fine. I'm actually liking how it's turned out here, because when I sewed it before with that pattern I drafted, the flare was not really coming out as I wanted it. So feel free to adjust your pattern and just do it this way. So apologies for the inconveniences, guys, in case you've already drafted out that pattern. So just make adjustments. You know, fashion design is about creativity and inspiration. So when I actually just sewed it before, it was not really looking nice. So I just went ahead to think of another way to come up with the design, and it's actually turned out nice. So now for the back piece, you just go ahead to, from the zip area where our zip is going to stop, go ahead to run a stitch to meet the down part. So just run a stitch down, and after doing that, I'll come back to show you guys what I actually did here. So this is what I did. I just went ahead from the zip area where the zip is going to stop. I went ahead to run a stitch to meet the down part, and from that part, just make sure it comes closer to the edge. So after doing that, guys, I'll open it up now to show you guys what to do next. So this is the flare for the back. I'll go ahead, this particular place where the pin is, I'll go ahead to run a stitch on it, and after doing that, I'll come back to show you guys what to do next. So now I'm just going ahead to mark this particular point here where my flare is going to start from. So what I did was just to mark half an inch from the seam allowance there. So just watch what I do. I'm going ahead to mark half an inch from the seam allowance at the back, and also do the same thing on the other side. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead to sew my flare on it. So just watch what I do, guys, so that you guys can get it correctly. So I'll take my flare now after joining that piece together. So you can as well just go ahead to cut it without joining, but I actually just wanted to do it this way. So after doing that, I'll go ahead to place it just like we did for the rest patterns. Just go ahead to place it on top of the lines that we've marked, and go ahead to run a stitch on that half an inch round it. While sewing, it's going to be quite difficult, but just take your time to do it. So after doing that, this is what it looks like, guys. So the next we'll work on now is our band. So what I did, I've already gone ahead to cut it out on my fabric, and after doing that, make sure you fold your fabric into two before you cut. So after doing that, guys, I'll just go ahead now to run a stitch on it, just as you've seen me pointed out. So just run a stitch on this top part, which is the waist area. Just run a stitch on it. So after doing that, I went ahead to just notch it round and then open it up, and after opening it up, just go ahead to press it down with your iron. So after pressing it with my iron, this is what it looks like. I'll go ahead to bring out my front piece right now, and then just go ahead to sew my band to my skirt. So what I'll do now is just to place it like this, as you've seen me done. So just place it like this, and before I do so, I'll just go ahead to notch the middle area so that I can know where to start from. So after doing that, I'll just go ahead to run a stop stitch on it, and this is what it will look like after sewing. So this is for the back pattern as well. I've gone ahead to mark my zip area. So this is what I have. I went ahead to fold my fabric into two, and then just do the same thing I did for the front. So after doing that, this is what I have. I'll go ahead now also to attach it to the back pattern. So just watch what I'm trying to do when you understand. And so guys, this is what it's looking like. I've gone ahead also to attach my zip, as you've seen me done here. So what I'll do next now is to bring my front piece. I'll just place my front piece on the back just as you see me do. I'll take my basic measurement and then go ahead to join both sides together. So you can choose to just weave this area so that it will look neat inside, and also on the band area as well. So guys, this is how it actually came out, looking all fine. I actually really liked how it came out, but the way I sewed it before, the flare was not really coming out as I wanted. That's why I meant. So if you actually enjoyed this video and you learned something, do not forget to like this video and also subscribe to my channel. Turn on the notification bell to get notified when I post more videos. So guys, until my next video, bye.